This is Chester Moore, Executive Editor of Texas Fishing Game at the 2013 ICAST show at the Bullet Weights booth with Wally Marshall, Mr. Crappie. And what I like about you, Wally, is you always, every year, some kind of different innovation for crappie fishing. You got some pre-made rigs here. I think are pretty fascinating.
Well, what the deal is, anglers don't want to be out on the water tying rigs.
No.
You know, they don't want to spend all their time, because every downtime you have, especially if you're in a tournament, you're missing fish.
Sure.
So that guy came up to me one time at a show and said, "I want to buy 6 of one rod." And I go, "Why so many?" And he goes, "Because I tie it before I go, and if I lose a lure, I just grab another rod. So here, you can grab another rig, and what I like about the new rigs that we got here at Bullet Weight, this is called the double drop shot right here. We've got crappie rigs. You got a swivel at the top, down 8 inches, and it comes to a loop knot here, and then 15 inches from that hook, we have another hook. Then 12 inches from that, you have your sinker. And you're saying, you know, why put the sinker on the bottom? Well, I'll tell you what, when you're trolling, when you're going across the water and you see one of your lines start backing up, well, you've got up against something, whether it's brush or some kind of object. And if you get hung up, you can use the bell sinker at the bottom, the crappie caster, and you can bounce your rod, you can bounce it. And when you're bouncing it, it'll pull the hook loose. And so you can get free. But most of the time, when you get your hook into the brush, a crappie's gonna hit that top one.
There you go, I love that.
And so sometimes a crappie will pull it loose from you, but we have them in 1/4 ounce all the way up to 3/4 ounce. And the heavier the weight, the faster you can go through the water column. This is designed for pushing out the front. We use 8 rods. We got them on a nice spread. You're covering some different depths here. Crappie's eyes is always on the top of their head. They're looking up. And so what you do is you just troll these baits right above the crappie, and they'll come up and strike. And sometimes I catch them so shallow that the top minnow is at the surface of the water.
Oh, wow.
That's how shallow you can actually catch them.
That's amazing.
But moving on to another system. Now I use that system right there, the double drop, when we're around heavy cover, timber, etc.
Like on Lake Fork where we were fishing.
Yeah, at Lake Fork when we was out there fishing, you could take those rigs and be in tight. Now when you get in more open water, we can use the Pro Troller, and what this does, it has a swivel at the top, and then there's a 3-way swivel. Then you've got a leader here of 9 inches, comes off right here. And so when you're going through the water column at a 1/4 mile an hour to a 1/2 mile an hour, then you have a double swivel weight to keep it from tangling, and then you have a 12-inch leader right here. And so your baits would actually, when you're going through the water column, your baits will be back here. And all of the weights that we have, the double swivel, I love them.
I'm actually using these for flounder fishing because I fish in heavy current. And with the swivel, I don't get the line twist problem.
You got to have the swivel on there because you don't want that line twist. But this right here, I'll guarantee it, when you're going through the water column with that 3-way swivel, no tangle, then you got the tuxedo black weights.
Of course.
And you're just moving it, some pretty good speed, 1/4 to a 1/2 mile an hour. And sometimes you're just hovering, because when you get into the fish and having the hooks, being able to have a lot of action on them with a long leader. So in that open water, they're really got a lot of movement to them. And what I like to do is I'll hook the minnows through the lips, so it's got that natural swim. Because if you hooked them in the back or whatever, it'd be too erratic. It'd have too much. But believe me, the Pro Troller and the double drop shot is going to be smoking and brand new for 2014.
And you have some things that maybe some people haven't seen that have been out for a few years.
Last year we introduced the Troll Tech Troll Rig. And this is on a stainless steel wire. The weight is already adhered to the wire itself, so it comes as one package ready to fish. Okay, then the top arm spins 360. So when you take off trolling, it will come to the back like this, and you can fish this rig vertical, or you can fish it in heavy structure. You know what I'm saying? Because this wire is actually, the stainless steel wire is actually going to hit the brush before your baits do.
The bait does.
And so when we're watching our rods, any little twitch, any little movement at all, we see it. And especially when your rod's been over in the water like that, you know you're really up against something if it's not really moving. But this little rig right here, I'll guarantee it, we're selling thousands of them. Okay, moving on to the next unit is we have our crankbait downrigger, and this is rigged up with a 3-ounce weight already adhered to the wire. And what it is, it has a swivel right here at the top.
Okay.
And then you drop down here and there's another swivel at the bottom, and then you tie your crankbait right to the unit. You put a 3-foot leader and then put your crankbait on there, and you can actually push crankbaits out of the front of your boat.
That's interesting.
Oh, I'm telling you, you use the little short lip Strike King. I don't know the number of the. It's a 300 size, but it's got that short lip on the front. It's like a 100 size, actually, like a 1 plus.
Yeah.
Hey, it's got a little tight wobble to it.
And people don't realize a crappie's got a big mouth. They can take in something bigger than you think.
Hey, I'm telling you, in Grenada, Mississippi, when a crappie hits a crankbait, I'm talking about a 2.5-inch crankbait, you do not see the crankbait.
Yeah.
It is completely gone. And so the reason we use the Troltec downrigger is because you can make a turn. You can turn quicker and stay into the fish, because if you're pulling them behind the boat 100 feet, you got to make a big wide turn. But using this right here with your crankbaits, you can get in the fish, then just turn right back around and you can get back into them. But anyway, this lineup that we have at Bullet Weights is just, I'm talking about it, it's phenomenal. It's going to steal the show in 2014, and you don't have to tie your own rigs. I love it.
Me too. Thanks, Wally.
Hey, thanks a lot, Chester. Hey, you ready to go crappie fishing again?
Call me. Let's go.
Oh, I'm ready.
Anytime.
All right.